Be honest with yourself. How many times have you said, "I'll start tomorrow"? Tomorrow comes, but the task is still waiting. The dream is still untouched. The goal is still on hold. That's the silent trap of laziness. It whispers, "You have time. You can do it later." But later never comes. Laziness steals dreams quietly. Not in one big attack, but in small delays. One skipped study session, one ignored workout, one wasted day. And suddenly, months are gone, years are gone, dreams are gone. But here's the truth. You can win against laziness, not by fighting it once, but by building a shield. That shield is called productivity. Productivity means using your time wisely, doing what matters instead of what is easy. It's not about working non-stop. It's about working with focus. For example, imagine you have 2 hours. One person scrolls on their phone. The other learns 10 new English phrases. Same time, different results. The difference is productivity. But before we go deeper, let's learn the word itself. Productivity means how much useful work you get done in a certain amount of time. You can use it like this. My productivity increases when I avoid distractions. Or, I want to improve my productivity to achieve my goals. Simple, clear, powerful. Now let's face a fact. Laziness feels comfortable. The bed feels warm. The phone feels entertaining. The sofa feels safe. But comfort kills growth. Comfort delays dreams. Comfort keeps you stuck. Productivity, on the other hand, feels hard in the beginning. It asks for effort. It asks for energy. But once you start, it gives reward. It gives progress. It gives success. Think about it this way. Laziness gives you short pleasure, but long regret. Productivity gives you short effort, but long success. So the real question is, which one do you choose? Every day you get the choice. One path leads to excuses. The other leads to growth. Here's a small truth about human mind. It doesn't like huge tasks. That's why we procrastinate. But if you break the task into small steps, the mind agrees. Don't say, "I'll study for 3 hours." Say, "I'll just open the book for 10 minutes. Once you start, momentum carries you forward. That's how productivity wins. Small beginnings, small actions, repeated daily. Remember this, laziness is natural, but discipline is a choice. And every choice builds your future. So the first step to winning against laziness is awareness. Catch yourself when you delay. Ask, am I choosing comfort or progress? Because the truth is, the longer you wait, the harder it becomes. But the sooner you act, the easier it feels. And the reward, confidence, clarity, freedom, success. That's the gift of productivity. So how do we fight laziness in daily life? Not with big promises, but with small, smart actions. Here's the first principle. Start small. Your brain resists huge tasks, but it accepts tiny ones. Don't say, "I'll learn English for 2 hours today." Say, "I'll learn one new phrase right now." One phrase feels light. One phrase feels possible. And once you start, you often keep going. That's how momentum is built. And momentum destroys laziness. Here's another principle. Remove distractions. Laziness feeds on distractions. The phone, the TV, endless scrolling. These steal your focus. So create a clear space. Silence notifications. Keep the book in front of you. Keep the dictionary open. When the path is clear, action feels easier. Productivity is not about doing more. It's about doing what matters most. Here's an example. Imagine you have a to-do list of 10 tasks, but only 2 tasks really matter. If you finish the 2 important ones, the day is productive, even if the rest is unfinished. This is called the 80-20 rule. 80% of results come from 20% of actions. So focus on those high-value actions. Now let's practice the word again. You can say, "My productivity improves when I focus on one task at a time." Or, "Distractions reduce my productivity." Notice how easy it is to use this word in daily life. But here's something important. Laziness often hides as excuses. I'm too tired. I don't have time. I'll do it later. These are not real reasons. They are just stories the brain tells. And if you believe them, you lose. The way to win is to question the excuse. Ask yourself, am I really tired or just avoiding effort? Do I really have no time, or am I wasting time? Most of the time, you'll see the truth. It's not lack of energy, it's lack of focus. That's where productivity comes in. It teaches you to protect your energy, to use it on things that matter, to stop wasting it on things that don't. Here's another trick. Use the 5-minute rule. Tell yourself, I'll work for just 5 minutes. Often those 5 minutes turn into 30, because starting is the hardest part. Think of laziness like a heavy door. At first it resists, but once you push it opens. And then moving through is easy. Winning against laziness is not about never feeling lazy. Everyone feels lazy sometimes. The difference is, productive people act anyway. They don't wait for motivation, they create momentum. So here's a challenge. Pick one task you've been delaying, something small, and do it today, not tomorrow, not later, today. Because when you act, laziness loses power, and every small victory builds confidence. That's how productivity becomes a habit. And habits shape destiny. Why does laziness win so often? Because our brain loves comfort. It avoids effort, but growth never happens in comfort. Change begins with effort. Think about a muscle. If you never use it, it weakens. If you train it step by step, it grows. Your mind works the same way. Each time you choose productivity over laziness, you train your brain. You prove action is possible. And with practice, it gets easier. That's where discipline enters. Motivation comes and goes. Discipline stays. It means doing what's needed, even when you don't feel like it. And discipline is not fixed. It's built daily, step by step. Let's use the word again. My productivity improves when I follow a routine. Or, discipline increases my productivity. Notice how natural it sounds. Now think of successful people. Athletes, writers, leaders. What do they share? Productivity. They use time wisely. They don't wait for the right mood. A writer writes daily. Some days it flows, some days it doesn't. But because they stay consistent, books are finished. An athlete trains even when tired, even when the weather is bad, because they know consistency beats laziness. That's why people say, hard work beats talent when talent doesn't work hard. Here's the key. Productivity doesn't just fight laziness. It builds confidence. When you finish tasks, you feel capable. When you waste time, you feel guilty. One builds self-respect, the other destroys it. That's why every small productive act is more than progress. It's proof that you can rely on yourself. Want another trick? Visualize the reward. Before starting, picture the relief after finishing, the pride, the progress. That image pulls you forward. So when laziness whispers, stay comfortable, remind yourself, comfort is temporary. Regret lasts longer. Now connect this to English learning. People say, I'll practice when I have more time. But time never appears. Even 10 minutes a day works. One word, one phrase, one short practice. These productive steps add up. Perfection isn't needed. Consistency is. So next time laziness appears, tell yourself, I will win by choosing one productive action now. Remember, productivity is not about speed. It's about direction. It's about moving forward daily. And every time you choose productivity, you win. So how do you finally win against laziness? Not by one big action, but by repeating small productive choices again and again. Start with something simple. Make your bed, drink water, read one page. These acts seem small, but they create momentum. Momentum fights laziness better than motivation. Because once you start, continuing feels easier. The hardest part is starting. That's why people say, the secret to getting ahead is getting started. Here's another strategy. Create systems, not just goals. A goal says, I want to be productive. A system says, I will wake up and plan 3 tasks each morning. Goals inspire. Systems sustain. Systems protect you when laziness hits. Think of your phone battery. You don't wait for it to fully die. You charge it daily. Productivity is the same. Daily actions recharge your focus. And when you slip, because everyone does, don't hate yourself. Just restart. Forgive quickly. Act again. Because laziness wins only when you stop trying. If you restart, you're already stronger than yesterday. Now let's tie this back to English learning. If you want fluency, don't chase perfection. Chase productivity. Learn 1 new word today. Say it in a sentence. Repeat tomorrow. Over weeks, your vocabulary grows. For example, productivity is my secret weapon. Simple, but powerful. Over time, small phrases become fluent speech. Fluency is not a one-day win. It's thousands of small steps. And here's the deeper truth. When you train yourself to fight laziness in language learning, you're also training yourself to fight it in life. The same discipline that helps you study English will help you in your career, your health, your dreams. Because productivity is not limited to work. It's a lifestyle where you value progress over excuses, where you choose action over delay, where you create instead of just consume. So the next time laziness whispers in your ear, say this sentence out loud. My productivity defines my future. Repeat it until it feels real. Because words shape thoughts, and thoughts shape actions. Step by step, day by day, productive choices transform you. Soon, the person who once struggled with laziness becomes the person others look up to. That's the power of productivity. And remember, if you want to keep growing, if you want to stay motivated while learning English, if you want more lessons like this, hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, and keep walking with me on this journey. Because productivity isn't just about winning against laziness. It's about building the life you dream of, step by step, word by word, day by day.